Good morning, Lana, and welcome to our today's lesson. We are going to continue, as I promised you yesterday, that we continue with our lesson today about the compost manure. And they said compost manure is made up of materials like the kitchen refuse. In kitchen refuse, we're talking about the peelings, the potato peelings, the remains of sukuma wiki, that is scarce, and any other thing that is leftovers from the kitchen. All these are gotten from the kitchen, made up of that. Then we add other materials. And in this case, we are digging a pit that is 1 meter width, length, and then deep 1 meter. So it's 1 meter cube. So that is what we call a pit. So today I promised you to tell you the different layers and what they do in a compost manure. We remember the formula I gave you: direct to assemble from Kisumu market. I know most of you say Kisumu is a city, but you can talk about a market this time now. So direct to Kisumu, from direct to assemble from Kisumu market. If you align them like that, you are going to get the layers. Then remember what I also said yesterday. You don't usually begin from top, begin from the bottom. Right maize stalks from the bottom layer, so that you understand whether this layer, which is having dry leaves, whether it has been fixed on these layers or is on its own on top here. If you mistaken that, then you're going to get it wrong, because sometimes they mark a point X here. What is the layer mark point X? So if you begin from this side and this, you say this is ash, then ash will not be the right answer. Ash will come here if all the layers are lined here, because dry leaves are going to begin from the first layer. So that's why it's very wise to begin from the bottom here. So let's begin with these materials before I come to other things that we do to the compost pit to make it decompose very fast. We begin from dry leaves. What's the importance of dry leaves? Begin from there, and you're supposed to write Lana. So the dry leaves prevent evaporation of water available in the compost pit. So that is its function. The function of these dry leaves is to prevent. Remember we said maize stalks on the other side prevents the seeping of moisture downwards into the soil. So this one now will prevent the escaping of moisture upward through evaporation. So you apply these dry leaves on top of the last layer, so that any moisture that is found in this particular layer, heap, will not go out, because we said we need to keep this compost manure very, very moist, not wet but moist. So the dry leaves, their work is to prevent evaporation of the water that is available in this particular compost manure. Remember, if the water is not there, then the bacteria which are supposed to be decomposing this particular manure will not be able to work, because of the conditions of the climate, the weather that is inside the particular manure. Number two, we have topsoil. Why are we introducing topsoil, which is the second layer here? Lana, I want to give you a reason why we're introducing the topsoil. Remember what we talked about when we started this lesson, that we say soil erosion carries the top fertile soil. Why are we saying it's so fertile? Because it is well aerated, it is well fixed with small animals that aerate the soil and make it very porous for plant growth. So usually the topsoil is the one that carries the bacteria. The bacteria are not found deep in the soil; they are found on topsoil, where we have manure, that is the decayed matter. The decayed matter is only found on the top of the soil. That is organic matter. In class 4, you did what composition of soil, and we said at the top part of the soil, if you arrange the layers on top, we find the organic matter. That is the humus. The humus is always found on the top part of the soil. So that humus is the one that contains the bacteria. The bacteria stays there because that layer as food for the bacteria, which is the humus. So it can only stay there. So we are introducing this topsoil into the heap so that we can bring in the bacteria, the decomposers. So this topsoil introduces decomposers. Stroke. Sometimes in the exam they can talk about bacteria into the heap, into the pit, into the manure. So this one is what the topsoil is brought there to introduce, to bring the decomposers. Because at the end of the day we need this one to decompose. The whole heap, as we pile the materials, we want them to be decayed and decomposed so that they can be used when they're in fine shape, can use them in the shamba. So that's the importance of the topsoil, to introduce decomposers. Very, very important. Then number three, we are moving downward. We have ash, the wood ash. Sometimes they talk about ash, they also talk about wood ash. So what is the importance of wood ash? Wood ash is brought there to add additional nutrients. And put it the way I'm putting it, add additional nutrients. That's how support would look like. Add additional nutrients. To add additional nutrients into the heap. These materials have nutrients, have got their own nutrients, but we are introducing the ash to continue adding more nutrients into that heap, because what we require from this manure is to have manure that is having a lot of nutrients, so that when you take them into the soil, they can improve that soil very fast, and then crops will be able to use those particular nutrients in the soil to be able to produce and give high yields. So that's our own objective in this particular work. Then the layer number 3, number 4, is layer farmyard manure. What is the importance of farmyard manure? Farmyard manure. Remember, we are going to the cow shed and we are picking some farmyard manure. Remember that farmyard manure in the cow shed is fine. It's already decayed and is in fine state. So we are bringing it there because it's already fine, because bacteria acted upon it already in the cow shed and it became very fine. So we are bringing it into the heap to be the food. This acts as a food for this bacteria we have introduced in the topsoil. Remember we brought decomposers or bacteria using this topsoil. So we are introducing this farmyard manure so that it can be food for this particular bacteria we are introducing here. So this acts as food for the decomposers. So the decomposers will utilize this farmyard manure as food because it's already in fine details. Remember, this one has not started rotting, so they cannot feed on them. So as they act on the heap, they'll be feeding on this particular farmyard manure. Then the next layer is the last layer. I will not talk about the kitchen refuse because it doesn't serve any purpose there. It's just materials that we need to put there to make the heap complete. The last one, of course, is maize stalks. Learn what's the importance of the maize stalks. We said the maize stalks prevent downward movement of available moisture. Prevent downward movement of water. The water that is found in this heap should not go anywhere. It should be maintained in the heap so that it can make the heap so soft to be acted upon by these particular decomposers. So the function of the maize stalks is to ensure that these decomposers remain there acting on a soft material. If it becomes too hard for them, they cannot be able to decompose the materials. So those are some of the importances of these particular layers. Dry leaves, we have said, to prevent the evaporation of the available moisture. Topsoil to bring in, we are bringing in decomposers. Ash, we are adding additional nutrients. Then we have farmyard manure, which just acts as food for the decomposers. Then maize stalks, which prevents downward movement of available water in the heap. So those are some of the things that we do. Other things that we may hand that make decomposition very fast in this heap. Number one, we keep this moist. By keeping this compost pit moist, it ensures that bacteria will continue acting upon it, and therefore decomposition will always take place. Number two, we add during the dry season, sorry, not dry season, the wet season, we can be able to cover this using a polyethylene paper. Why are we covering using a polyethylene paper? To prevent entry of water into the pit. Once water enters into the pit, then these materials becomes wet, and so the bacteria will not be able to work on it. Otherwise, they just float on the water and they will never work on these materials. So during wet season, we are supposed to cover using a polyethylene paper. Another thing that you can do to this heap to ensure that decomposition takes place very fast is that we turn it regularly. We regularly turn the materials using a stick. We place a stick inside and then we turn it like this regularly. And then the turning should be regular, not irregular. So in the exam they will bring an answer like turning the heap irregularly. That is not an answer. It's supposed to be regularly. So those are some of the tricks that they use in the exam to ensure that you get it wrong. So we have said you turn the heap regularly. Regular means in an even manner. If you are doing it twice in a week, do it twice in a week, but not twice and then next week you do it once. Why are we turning it? So that the materials that were on top to come down, because the ones at the bottom part of it, they have already been decayed. So we are bringing them up and pulling the ones that are on top down there to be decomposed, and we continue with the turning, and by the end of the day, we realize all the materials have been decayed and then they are ready to be used there. And there, this one is done occasionally. Ensure that we turn the heap occasionally. Then this heap can take, for any particular time we are doing this, it can take 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, within 4 weeks, this one is said to be ready to be used in the shamba. Now we have this type of making. Then we have the other one we call the 4-heap method. The 4-heap method I'll teach you tomorrow how it looks like. 4-heap method, you begin with this one. You pile your materials here. Then we have these materials are put in 2 separate heaps. That is 2 separate pits from the same material. You place them there. Or you can begin you have material A, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So what happens? These are the heaps, the pits. So you have pit A, B, and C. So all materials from pit A and C, after 4 weeks, they are brought down here into this heap B. You realize all of them will fit here because they have already been decomposed after 4 weeks. So they are smaller. They are very small in terms of volume. So they will fit in this particular pit. So from there, you take them direct into this acts as the shamba. So after a year, they have already fully decomposed. So this one is just to hold the materials as you want to transfer them to the garden. So from there, you take them to the fourth part, which is the garden. So this is what we call a 4-heap method, or for way of preparing this one. But as long as you have gotten this right, learner, any question coming from this particular compost manure, you can be able to get it right. Number one, know how these layers follow one another from the bottom. Just write this downwards and then start from the bottom, labeling them up. You'll be able to realize, so that you don't confuse between dry leaves being found on top and being found as the first layer here. So that one is very key. Then number two, knowing the importance of each of the layers. Very, very important. If you don't know the importance of each layer, then you're going to get very rough in the exam. You won't be able to know whether farmyard manure is acting as food for bacteria or is bringing about the decomposers. So that is very, very important that look at it well. Then after knowing that, of course, you know those things that we do to ensure that there's fast decomposition in the compost manure. Like for example, we are sprinkling water in case it's dry season. You have to sprinkle some water on the manure to ensure that we keep it moist but not wet. You don't pour water using a basin hose like that. No, you make it wet, and it's wrong to make it wet. Then during a rain season, you can also cover it using a polythene paper to ensure that these materials remain moist but not wet. Because if you allow a lot of water to come and get inside here, this one becomes waterlogged, and so all the bacteria and decomposers will just float on top of the water. So now we've come to the end of our lesson today. I know we are remaining with one part, which is the organic mulches. Organic mulches will be a very short lesson in tomorrow. Then, of course, we need to begin what we call fertilizers. Remember I told you in the beginning we have natural fertilizers and then we have artificial fertilizers. What we are discussing here is natural fertilizers. We will be finishing tomorrow with the fourth one, which is the organic manure, the organic mulches. After that, we'll deal now with the fertilizers that we buy from the market. We call them the artificial fertilizers or inorganic fertilizers. We'll see that there are two types. We have the straight and the compound. Then I'll tell you the difference. So until next time, Lana, I want to wish you well. Let us continue making notes on this, what we have done here. And let us arrange our work so well that when we get back to school, we have very easy time to be able to revise and do well in our exams. So until next time, Lana, I want to wish you well.